Hi, this is Jesse Brisendine. I believe that it is possible to live an extraordinary life after loss, and to do that, one must first choose to heal. This podcast is focused on sharing with you inspiring stories, tangible tools, and life strategies to help you heal from your loss. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Moving Forward moment. Today, I am pleased to welcome Michelle, who's here to chat with us today. Michelle, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. So, Michelle, tell us a little bit about your story. What brings you here today? What's your story?
So I reached a place where I was just really tired of feeling tired every day, just like, exhausted, and like I'd wake up and I'd have no idea why. And then I'd realize, oh, well, my grandma died in June, my husband took his life the next month, July 22nd, and my brother died in a car accident September 23rd. And then, everything just kind of just spiraled on me. And I found
Mhm.
myself doing the same thing every day. It was like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
I ended up with, all these people that I thought I needed in my house. And I got rid of them. I got my home back, but I needed them at the same time. I didn't want to be alone the day my husband died, July 22nd. I mean, my life was just completely forever changed. The carpet was just ripped out like from beneath me, and I found myself in my house, where I went from living with, kids and family to, 40, 50 strangers that,
Wow.
like, but I needed them because I didn't have anybody. And then my brother died and all this stuff happened, and yeah, I just found myself living in this just day-to-day grind of nothingness. But I could come up with a million reasons why I was doing nothing. Like,
Yes. Isn't that interesting how we can do that?
and it was 2 years later, and I have friends that are, widowed also, and, I don't really want to, down, play or down, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but, I can't keep going circular
Yep.
with people. It's becoming codependent, is
What
what.
will what will happen in situations like this too is especially and it, whether we lose one person or if we experience several losses in a row like you have, is at the core, each and every human being across the planet, we all have the same fundamental needs. We have to meet these needs in order for us to survive, whatever, and each of us is going to have primary needs within those fundamental needs. And even if we're happy, sad, upset, angry, pissed off, joyous, loving, all those types of things, we're still trying to always get those needs met. And when we find ourselves in a situation where, the carpet's literally ripped out from underneath you, your whole world changes like that, nothing is familiar to what once was very familiar, and you're going through the motions of doing nothing but justifying all the way, what we'll often do is we'll find ourselves, right, like attracts like, and so we start to find people who can relate, who can understand, and what and it's a beautiful gift in the time because we can nurture and we can help lift each other up, but there's a really dangerous line that we can walk, and that dangerous line is as we start to get, as you said, maybe codependent with it, those interactions start to be the way we meet our needs. See, we meet our needs positive ways or negative ways. Positive ways being ways that are forward progressing, working towards goals, aspirations, improving relationships, whatnot.
Mhm.
And quote unquote negative ways would be ways that would be things that keep us stuck, things that keep us going around in a spiral, around in a circle. And that's not to find fault on anybody who's doing that, but what it is to point out is for you, I think it's really extraordinary, is you recognize that you were stuck in that vicious cycle. You recognize that you were basically kind of feeding the do nothing beast, and you recognize that you need to do a change. And I found that with people, Michelle, that they're really, for most people, there comes a moment, it's a moment in time when somebody decides, they say, you know what, wait a minute, this isn't going to work for me anymore. Did you have a moment like that for yourself where you just realized, I got to change, I got to get out of this cycle?
That moment happened about a year ago, so it's about a year into it. And I just took off for 22 days. I went to Honolulu. I missed my plane, got stuck in San Diego. Oh, boo. And I
Yeah.
enjoyed myself, but I wasn't really enjoying myself. It was just like running away from home. But I did get all of the people that shouldn't have been in my house out of my house by being gone for 22 days. They all had to find somewhere to go and someone else to grieve with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I wasn't done grieving either. Like I didn't get a chance to grieve because I just had this codependent, like I was helping them, but I thought that they were helping me, but I was really helping them because none of them like had anywhere to live or jobs or, and it just, there was a lot of drinking going on, smoking a lot of weed all day, drinking all day, and we were justifying it. Oh,
Yes.
Mark died, Terrence died, Cheyenne died, Grandma Mary, oh, let's have another drink. And like,
Yes.
it was so miserably unproductive, and I wasn't even doing like real grieving either. It was like fake grieving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
I wasn't making any progress with it,
yeah.
and then get drunk, and then those are the worst cries, like the drunken, like, oh, that's when you really like flip out the most because all of your feelings are intensified,
Yep.
and you just can't even believe that you're behaving that way. So I started, about a year ago, making my circle smaller. I started going, okay, who do I need and who do I not need?
It's
I
awesome.
need Angie, I need Sabrina, and I need Cindy, and I need Tommy, and that's it. Like the rest of you, who are you people? Like I don't know. What are we all doing here? It's like it's time to like stop what we're doing, and it's time to start doing something. So I took your advice, and I went down to the Richmond Rescue Mission today, and my daughter was actually with me when I found my husband. So her and I are going to be serving every Tuesday now from 4 to
Awesome.
7:30, and I think this is going to be important for her also
Yes.
because neither of us went to therapy. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, Michelle, you know, when are you going to therapy?" And I just didn't want to go. It's not for everyone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
would it have benefited me? Maybe, but I've had some bad experiences with therapy that I wasn't willing to risk going.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like nobody would understand, like, unless you've had a dead body in your backyard, like, what are you possibly going to be able to tell me? Like, so this is going to be my way of getting the therapy that I need by providing therapy to others because, you take a look around and you go, man, I thought my life was messed up.
Yep.
Well, try going down there and like serving these people. You'll find out that it's not as bad as you thought, and I'm hoping that my daughter, I mean, she's been really resilient. I think kids are there's just something about them that they're able to just keep going. We dwell, they don't. My kids have told me, oh mom, do we have to talk about Mark? That's depressing, you're being depressing. Like they want to talk about it to a certain degree, but they want to move on too. They don't want to stay stuck at all. They have lives to live, things to do. They're just not into dwelling unless you have a depressed child. Like, I don't know what that's like. I've been blessed that, I haven't, considering what my daughter's been through. I mean, when I found him, I was just yelling and screaming the F word in the backyard. And she came out on the deck and she's, Mommy, what's wrong? And I'm, get inside. Ah! Like, so she didn't actually see him, but what she did see was me just completely lose it.
Absolutely.
We ended up in the front yard, and, this went on. My house was a crime scene. I mean, who would have thought, went on for 8 hours. And immediately she blamed herself. Oh, it's my fault. And she
Yep.
was, 8 going on 9. And it's my fault. Oh my God. We should have had him come with us to Starbucks. Oh my God. I mean, this is like, people were at my house in 5 minutes, and her dad's here. I was married twice. So, and they all loved my husband. He was a great guy, biggest heart, and it got the best of him. So, yeah, my daughter immediately blamed herself at 8 years
Yeah.
old. My
We,
fault. I should have allowed him to come. And her and me and her dad were both like, no, it's not your fault. Like, don't, we just kept reaffirming, and we talk about it all the time, that it's nobody's fault.
there's a few things in there, Michelle, I want to make sure to acknowledge with it. And number one is I think Making the conscious effort to change your physical environment. If you got up, you really recognize that the environment and the people in it weren't helping you heal and move forward. It wasn't giving you a space to grieve, to process your own emotions. And so you shifted it. You got out, you went out of town. And if somebody's not able to go out of town, they can do things like just rearranging the house, moving furniture, moving things so it's not the same space that it was before. One of the things that will perpetuate those stuck feelings is if we do nothing at all to change how things were, because then all it does is we come in and we have so many associations attached to the people and those experiences. Changing your physical space, getting out of your environment for a little bit is really powerful. Number two, it
I
is
have
so
something to say
what's
on
that?
that. Like, I have one thing, like, I got out of town. Well, I did that a lot. Like, it's
Mhm.
almost like a running away from home. So it wasn't that, was it healing? I don't know because
It
looking
gave you the
back,
space, right, to process.
I was by myself. I mean, I guess so. I was by myself, but I was
Hmm.
running away from home.
Yeah, but you know that's there's nothing wrong with that because home as you knew it had changed, right? And home as you knew it was an unfamiliar space. So getting out and shifting the environment, it is extremely difficult to process the magnitude of an experience like that if we're in an environment that is so familiar and we have it so conditioned to another person. There's nothing in our reference that can even begin to we can even begin to relate to it because everywhere we go in those spaces, we see, hear, feel, smell the people that have always been part of those experiences. And because of that, and because of the emotional space in it, and when there's some self-medicating going on too, it makes it extremely hard to really process and start to figure out emotions. But if you step away and give yourself some space, some unfamiliar thing, at least it's something different. And in something different, you get to allow yourself to start to process the experience. Getting away from home, running away from home, you're giving yourself some space. That's really powerful. Number two is making the deliberate decision to go and do some sort of service. Suffering will persist when we focus on ourselves. What I've lost, how life's been unfair to me, how I'm suffering, how it wasn't supposed to be this way. And yeah, it's not fair. Nobody wants to lose any of the people they've lost, but it's something that's happened. And we will continue to suffer as long as we focus on what we've lost. We will heal and begin to transform even when we go and we take that our energy and start to put it towards service. I did an interview the other day for a show, and the person was asking me, they said, where do you go to find life purpose? And I said, there's two places you go. You go to pain and you go to pleasure. You look at the pleasure stuff, the stuff that you absolutely love doing, the stuff that fulfills you the most, and it's going to be somewhere there. And you go to some of the most painful spots, and if you dig really deep, and sometimes you have to dig through some really deep, nasty, dark shit that nobody wants to have to bring up and look at, purpose is there. For me, part of my purpose was found in pain. I would not be here if I hadn't gone through the losses that I had. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I
Exactly.
really appreciate you acknowledging too the contrast that you experienced going down, thinking, my life is so messed up, but then you go and see these other people. It reminds me of my dad. I remember my dad was going through uh, trying to decide if he was going to go through chemo treatment for colon cancer. He had the surgery. He was meeting with the doctor. The doctor said, Mike, it's a 60% chance it won't come back. And my dad did not want to do chemo. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to be sick all that time. And he said, but there's somebody in the other room who took that gamble. It came back, and now they're going to die. And I never forget my dad telling me, he said, you never have to look far to see someone who has it worse than you. When we find ourselves in an environment where it's focused on, going around and around in a circle, we self-medicate, we commiserate, we do all those things, we're so focused on, it's like we take our pain and we put it in this protective barrier. And it shields us from seeing anything out beyond ourselves. This is where suffering is going to be a selfish endeavor because we're focused solely on there. It's not to say anybody's intentionally trying to be selfish because it's what we try to do to survive, right? So how we try to make sense of things. But it's when we're able to step beyond ourselves and see outside and see that there can be another space in life. It doesn't have to be these people, this environment, or anything else. It's really where we can start to make tremendous changes and make progress as we move forward.
Oh yeah. I mean, the minute I scheduled my meeting with the woman I met, her name is Michelle. Turns out she knows my kids. Long
Uh,
story. Um, through their football organization. So I gave her my daughter's name. She's like, "Oh, is that Charles?" And our kids are friends, and she's, I told her this whole story, and she was just like, I know your kids, I know you're their dad, like, wow, like, I'm so glad you came down here. But yeah, this huge weight was lifted the
Yeah.
moment I had the appointment with her. I had somewhere to be at
Yep.
2 o'clock today, versus, I could have been sitting in my recliner all day
Yep.
doing nothing and saying I'm tired, because I am tired. I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you I'm not tired, but I'm getting energy back.
Absolutely. And you're making a decision to go out and get it. I love that you said that. When I made the decision to giving myself somewhere to go, giving yourself some purpose.
Definitely lifted a huge weight, because I've been procrastinating for a long time. Like, I knew that I needed to do this. Um, and I just kept using the I'm tired today. I'm tired. I'm tired. And the more I did it, the more tired I became. So, yeah, I mean, by, holding myself to being somewhere, I did it, and we're set up for Tuesday, ready to go. My daughter's super excited.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a great experience. And it's something like, her and I suffered in this tragic, traumatic experience together. And now her and I are doing something that's going to be, probably something that we may do for the rest of our lives together.
Yeah. I think it'll be a time that you will treasure forever too.
Oh, yeah. Like, so if all this hadn't happened, right, like, I wouldn't be doing this with my daughter.
Yes. It's
So
beautiful.
it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited. And
Michelle, if you could share one piece of advice for people who are out there watching this right now and trying to figure out what they can do to begin to move forward, what piece of advice would you share?
well, I think, you reach a point where you're, I keep using the word tired, because we all get tired of being tired. I think it's a very pivotal place to be. You can either go backwards, and like go back to your old grieving all day, everyday self. You can stay where your tired self is at, or you can, it's really difficult to jump this hurdle of the tired hurdle.
Yep.
It's very, very difficult, and you come up with a million reasons why, and it's not easy. There's nothing easy about it, but it's a change.
Yes.
And there's never a change in anyone's life that they've ever been through that they have not come out better if it was difficult. If it wasn't a difficult change, I mean, the most amazing things in my life have been through difficult change. But it's so overwhelming to think about changing.
Yeah.
So I just say, just push through, jump over the tired hurdle, and get out and do something, anything, even if it's like going for a walk. Even
Yep.
if you're tired and you're going to be tired, you're going to be exhausted and you're not going to even enjoy it. But then you got to get up and do it again the next day and
Yes.
the next day. I've been forcing myself to go to the gym every day. Do I want to? No. Do I afterwards? Yes. Like, I have more energy. I'm not as tired. I still feel tired, but I'm not as tired.
Yep.
Time has gone on, and this has probably been going on for, let's see, I got my membership to my athletic club in December. I actually had my hip replaced in April, and so I wasn't really using it. So that was another excuse. It was like, oh, I just had my hip replaced. Like, I can't. Like, and now I'm like on the elliptical, 10 miles, 2 hours, and my surgery was April 24th. So, I mean, if I can do that, like, after a major surgery, that's difficult, like, anybody can.
Yeah. It's
You have to make the choice.
yeah, that's it. It's making a choice. In shifting your focus. It's getting sick and tired of being sick and tired and saying, you know what, I feel tired, but I don't want to keep feeling this tired, so I need to do something different.
And it's
And I
about
think,
being, you can say, I'm a survivor, but are you surviving? And how are you surviving? And what are you doing to survive?
yeah,
Those are some questions to ask yourself.
yeah, shifting from surviving to committing to thrive.
It's a hell of a title to hold, but what
Yeah,
are you doing to survive? Is something to ask yourself probably every day, every morning. Like, what's my survival goal today? Like, is it getting up, getting out, or is it just going to be sitting around and feeling tired? That's you're surviving, but you're not thriving. You're not being what a survivor is truly supposed to be.
Yes. When you shift your focus, you can find a new experience in the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Michelle, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for your time and your story. And please post in the group about your experience next week with you and your daughter. I think it would be wonderful to hear about. Maybe share some photos with us. I think it'd be
Sure. Yeah, I'll get photos.
yeah. I think it's so awesome you're doing that, and it's been such an honor to share this time with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Healing from Loss, the podcast. If you found value in this, please subscribe, rate, and review it on whatever platform you're listening to it on. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment and share this with someone who can benefit from it. Until next time, carpe diem. Live this moment in honor of your loved ones.